Yep. I'm gonna shut this off. You good, Ron? I'm gonna shut this down.
Ron, where's your IU sweatshirt at? Looks like Purdue from here.
Almost became an Illini fan.
Oh, did you? Yeah, you got pretty lucky the other night over at UCLA. Are you going to work after this? Yeah.
Oh, I'm 100% now.
You're committed?
Yeah, it took about 3 days, 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like no running fever all over work. When everybody up there, that little kid's getting sick.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I shut it down.
All right, you guys ready? All right. Call this commissioners meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for attending. All righty. Roll call, Misty Hess.
Present.
RJ Donovan here. Bill Peebles.
Here.
All present. All right, before we move to approval of minutes, further commissioner's discussion, we'll be amending the agenda, adding the following items to the end of the agenda. Thrive, Park County invoice, Community Crossings grant approval, RJL Solutions, and Perrysville Fire Department. With that, I'll move on to approval of minutes, January 5th, 2026. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Peebles. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Hess. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to approval of claims from January 9th, January 15th, January 16th, January 23rd, and January 30th of 2026.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mrs. Hess. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Peebles. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion for approval of payroll claims from January 16th and January 30th of 2026.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mrs. Hess. Do I have a second?
Aye. I second.
Second by Mr. Peebles. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, moving on to public comment. If anybody in the public would like to come up and speak, please state your name. You'll have 3 minutes at the podium.
Ron Mack, Vermillion County Surveyor. Back in January, I sent you guys a letter, and I hope you've had chance to look at it, here's copies for you again. About 2 years ago, NDOT contacted me about right-of-ways on the Thomas Hood Drain around Dana. We finally figured out that they did not have enough room in the right-of-way to do the work planned, which was replacing the culvert at the corner there by the Dana Ballpark. Long story short, way things ended up, the Drainage Board really doesn't have any opposition or any reason to oppose what NDOT is proposing. However, several members of the Drainage Board have great concerns that that corner is too tight. Now, they can't get semis around it and big farm equipment around it, you know, in the busy seasons. And the manhole lid cover's been knocked off several times. They even said, Bill, you've had to put it on 2 or 3 times. And the town of Dana has expressed concerns over this. So I promised the Drainage Board that I would just bring this to your attention again tonight. Ask somebody to get in touch with NDOT and the engineers and see if they can't figure out something different. As I understand it, the intent is to have what I call a catch basin, 12 or 15 foot catch basin at the end of the tile, which will then hit that culvert that goes under 71. It's going to work fine from a drainage standpoint, but looks like they're also going to shorten the radius of that corner. And the only guard that they're going to have up there is a 6-inch curb. Semi tire run right over that. I mean, you're going to have a semi down in that hole pretty easily. I think there's plenty of room if you're coming off Old 36 turning onto 71. I think you can get your semi out far enough, but when you're going back the other way, it's just going to be tight. And the Drainage Board guys, several of them run equipment around there, so they have firsthand knowledge that that's an issue that probably ought to be addressed by the county from a safety standpoint. That's it.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay. Here's a copy for you.
All right, Commissioners, any action on that, or we can have one of us reach out to NDOT. I think Tim Watson's our contact engineer at NDOT at West Central, if somebody would like to do that.
I would, that's my corner, that's where I live, so.
Sure.
Yes, I would definitely
Sure.
have interest in that corner and making
Absolutely.
sure it's safe.
I think, Ron, you probably have Tim Watson's contact, don't you?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
got several of them.
Sure.
If you could forward that to me sometime this week, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I'll send it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Bill, you'll follow up with NDOT then. Thank you. All right, any other public comment?
Hello, Kurt Phelps. First of all, I'd like to thank all you guys for going to Indianapolis. I'm sure that was an experience.
Well, we will say, I will correct you real quick. Commissioner Peebles went to Indianapolis for us. Me and Misty Hess could not attend, but he did read a letter on our behalf. So the
Sure.
thanks need to be directed more at
There you
Bill
go.
Peebles for making the trip.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wasn't aware of that. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And thank you, Bill. I'm sure that was a chore.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah, yeah. People like that like to swallow little people up, though. We all know that.
There was one that tried swallowing.
That's right.
Remember how you used to puff your chest out, Kurt? You just do that right back.
That's what I'm doing right now, puffing my chest out. I've got something I'd like to ask you about. In conversation that's come up about a 60% agreement that you have to have for landowners and eminent domain. Have you guys ever heard of anything of that?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, we're obviously trying to pull everything out of the hat. You know, we got a lawyer working on some stuff. We're talking to a lot of people. Everything is to back our county and our people and our board. So I just want to make sure you knew about that. You know, there's a lot of stuff we've talked before, just in general about. Have to watch how I say things, I guess. I'm not representing anybody necessarily but myself on a legal standpoint, but Alan Morrison is a DNR director now. There's been question of how he got there, what his intent is, and what his abilities are now. Obviously, he's a backer of the carbon sequestration program. I heard Scott Baldwin was the individual that really gave you a hard time. I think that's sad. I really do. People can't treat people like human beings, have differences, you know. There's campaign funds. We know how these people are getting paid off. That's stuff that you can go look at, you know, that's public. I'm hoping myself personally, I know we've talked as a group, as far as the CBA goes, they had their presentation, the last we heard, where you guys were working on your presentation for your own version. Something that scares us about that is the fact that, not that you shouldn't be prepared, but the $7 million claim that's out there that they say they're going to give us, we don't feel is enough money for anybody's life. And me, I'm a no. I'm just no, ain't going to happen. If they put it in, they're going to have to put it in on their own will, and we're not going to agree to it. To hang on to their shirt tails and try to suck money out of them, you know, I don't think it's a fair thing either. I don't think it's a wise thing, you know, especially not knowing what they're going to accept with whatever you're putting forward, but the fact that they were talking about wanting you to sign your rights as commissioners away to any legal repercussion for them, and as well, you know, any future owners. That's too much, too vague, you know, not enough details behind all that. Something else we talked about too is the 45Q and the 45V loophole. I'm not really sure how that they've reached this or not, but this gives them rights to government credits. And usually you can only do one of those credits. You can't do two. So I'm just throwing this out there as generalities, things to think about, things that we talk about. So it's like we know that we've got multiple LLCs involved in this. So they're trying to create multiple companies, injection site, ammonia, hydrogen. What kind of monkey business is going on there? You know, they're trying to hide stuff. They're trying to get as much government money as they possibly can. And then that's really all I was wanting to point out, was just the fact, try to give you guys some more information about what we found out. Anything that you guys, of course, can give to us would be great. Because we're here to back you. We're not here to fight you. This is something that involves the county, it involves all the people in it, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, whoever, you know. I mean, this community's not gonna go away, you know. So, appreciate the time.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Susan Strokos, and I want to thank you for going over there. I know the weather was terrible, and I did know that you were representing the others, and I appreciate that, because I do believe counties are going to have to start fighting for the rights. Little by little, the state's taking away county control over everything. This is just, the SB 7 bill was one that was trying to place, you know, that control back, exactly where it should be, with you guys, with us. We know more about what goes on in our county than they do over there. So I appreciate that. And just for your own knowledge, that guy that came at you, he took $20,000 from Wabash Valley Resources. So he was there defending his position. And they put people on the spot, right? It's like, this is a complex issue. We don't know all the ins and outs of it. But easily, if somebody had been knowledgeable about it for years, you could have said, we want 4D seismic testing. We want the USGS involved. We want them to monitor for microquakes, just like they do over ADM. There are many things that we can ask for. But the thing of it is, I don't expect any of you to know all this, because one, you're new. You came into this on the tail end of it, right? And the fact that you could see, and I'm glad you got to witness it, during the testimony, there was a legislator there. He was like, what is this? Is it a product that's being pumped underground? Then he was like, oh, it's trash, it's waste. That tells you why things are moving forward without anybody knowing what the heck's going on. They vote on things, they have no idea. But I am glad you stood up for us, and if it's just because your county says no, that's exactly what you should have said, and you did. And I'm proud of every one of you. So anyway, with the CBA, if you need help, if you have questions, and I would just suggest that the public does get to see it before anything's signed, because the public has been doing research and they can put forth very good suggestions. And if this company wants this project to go through, then they would be more than willing to ensure our safety and what it takes for us to feel safe. And one of them is monitoring. And they're going to tell you, oh, we can't do that, that's done by the EPA. That is not true. Illinois just passed a law and they're requiring at least a minimum of 30-year monitoring. This company wants only 10 years. So there are ways. The EPA is not the be-all and end-all. They set the level, right? And then states can go above those levels to ensure safety for their states and their counties. So thank you, guys. I just appreciate you guys doing that. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. All right, any other public comment before we move on to the rest of the agenda? Seeing none and hearing none, we'll move on. Open issues, none. New business, Hamilton Center yearly report. Is anybody here from the Hamilton Center?
Hi, my name is Christina Irvin. I'm the clinical supervisor for the Park and Vermillion offices. Mandy had an accident earlier today, so I literally got this an hour ago, so I apologize. So for the fiscal year that ended June 30th of 2025, we had a grand total of 517 consumers in Vermillion County. That age breakdown goes 0 to 17 is 166, 18 to 64 is 332, and 19 people over the age of 65. 461 of those, or 89%, were under 200% of poverty levels. We had 211 inpatient unit stays and did 14,746 outpatient services. Our expenses for our Vermillion County office, salaries and benefits, were $948,514. General expenses is $368,033. Cost of inpatient care, $291,180 for a total expense of $1,607,727. Sorry. We did $26,704 in charity care. Had $192,932 in Vermillion County tax support, and we have 24 employees that live in Vermillion County. Any questions?
Commissioners, any questions? No, Misty?
No.
Appreciate the overview. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Next, energy savings projects. Rick Anderson. Good evening, Rick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you on the other.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to come in front of you guys. So, Rick Anderson with Verigy. I met a couple of you at the County Commissioners Show. What we do, so before I get into my handout real quick, I don't know if you know much about the utility situation in Indiana. It's not great. We're still a regulated utility state. So we're stuck geographically with what we're stuck with. There's 5 investor-owned utilities in Indiana. The problem is the rates just keep going up. As you probably either pay a bill at home or if you pay a bill at a business, the average rate increase has been 6% over the past 15 years. Lately, it's been more like 15, 18, 20%. It's gone up 66% in the last 10 years. So it's not going down anytime soon. We're going to be stuck with this regulated situation. What we're trying to help you guys do with some of our programs is get off the utility as much as you can. So the first page that I gave you kind of talks about what we look at when we come in to do our assessments. We look at anything that's impacting utilities, lighting, HVAC, we do solar. So when we come into the building, we look at any of those things that are impacting your utilities. The second page that I gave you, the Inflation Reduction Act was passed back in 22. Allows you guys to get back potentially 30 to 40% on an investment if you do either solar, geothermal, or battery technology. It's a pretty nice little carrot right now. It's going to be around. The solar is going to go away at the end of this year. The geothermal is going to be around for a while. So it's a really nice little carrot to be able to get back from the federal government. I gave you some case histories there, a couple of them. One was Dearborn County, one was Hamilton County, and also one was Ripley County. We're just getting finished redoing Ripley County's courthouse. Basically, they got a brand new building in an 1865 courthouse. So we basically renovated all their systems. The way that we look at doing these projects for you all is called Guaranteed Savings Project. So there's legislation in the state of Indiana, IC-36-1-12.5. Been around about 30 years. You got to get registered with the state to be as a company to do these projects. What we typically come in and do, and actually we did an assessment for you guys. I don't think any of you were here 5 years ago, but we did an assessment for you guys about 5 years ago on not only this building, but also on the jail. You guys were renovating, adding on to the jail. So they basically said, hey, you know, not good timing, you know, come back. So I'm back. But anyway, we do these assessments. They don't cost the county anything to do. We come back with recommendations. We come back with costs. We also come back with a cash flow that shows you how this thing works. Pretty simple. Again, doesn't cost the county anything to do the assessment. The nice part about these projects is any of these things that you would typically have to do, it's a different way to buy. So the old way to do things, hire an architect, engineer, put plans and specs together, advertise, take low bid, change orders. These projects are no change order. So we come back to you with a project. You guys decide what you want to do. That's what you do. The only change order is if you guys make a change. We've had somebody do a decorating change because of carpeting and paint. That was the only change. So there's no change order, which is nice. It's a different way to do things. So all I would need is a motion from you guys to do the assessment. I'd send RJ a few pieces of information that I have to send to the utility company, but I need your authorization to do that. We get your utility information with account numbers. We come and walk your facilities and then get back to you with a report. Takes about 6 weeks to 2 months to get the report back.
Commissioners, any discussion on whether you'd like to proceed with the free assessment, correct?
Correct.
Or any discussion if you'd like to do the courthouse, maybe the annex? I do vaguely remember this 5 years ago, maybe it would have been, what, 2021, 2020?
Yeah, the jail and then the code, it was right in the middle of COVID and the jail.
And I'm sure those numbers are outdated now, 5 years ago. So.
I'd like to say they went down, but that would, I'd be lying.
Yeah. I don't have any issues doing a free assessment if you guys are open to it.
It doesn't cost us anything. I don't know why we would pass up that opportunity.
Is there any, would you like to include the courthouse, the annex? Is there any other, or do you want to do all county offices, or?
Definitely do the courthouse.
Yeah, courthouse would be priority one.
That's the courthouse and the jail.
Okay.
Solar at the jail might not be a bad, that's your biggest, if you ranked your utility spend, your jail is going to be the highest. So if we can potentially put solar at the jail, you got a great standing seam roof there, it'd be awesome. So, but we don't know until we do that.
We're not gonna charge them, all three of them.
You can do the annex too. All right. I'll entertain a motion then to give permission to Virgie and Rick Anderson to proceed with the free assessment for the county courthouse, county annex, and the county jail.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion, Mr. Peoples. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Sess. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Yep. Just give me that email, get to the auditor, and we'll get those signed for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Next item on the agenda, vacate alley ordinance 2026-1. Heidi Sams.
Hello, sorry I'm on your desk. So, sorry if I don't answer your questions right. But all I'm trying to do here is to be honest, as I've already stated, to vacate, so supposedly there's an alleyway that is running across, in between two of my property lines. So I'm wanting just to vacate the property line here, and then all of a sudden, there was an alleyway that came up on this, back here on the back portion, on the back lot, on lot 32. They said that that is an alleyway too as well, but that's never been considered since I've owned the home in 4 years. There's been a fence put up on this property for over, I know of, the gentleman lived there 11 years before I bought it 4 years ago. So I'm just wanting to vacate this property to combine it all together. That way I can have all my land together.
Sure. And you own both sides of the property, correct?
Yeah, yes. I own lot 32, and then he owns, there's another gentleman that owns the other side, but to be honest with you, I don't even keep track with them people because they're just drunks, alcohol, and all I do is they build a barn. I'm gonna be honest, they built a barn 2 years after we moved in. They're all family around us, and they're trying to get us to move out of there because we have 4 children. We moved our children out of Vigo County. We thought we were moving to a better county. One of the gentlemen that owns this, he actually pulled a gun on my husband on our property. This is how we ended up in this mess here, because they decided to come on our property, starting to move our stuff off of our property, saying they owned it, and then they ended up pulling out a pistol. The gentleman did, when my husband told him until it was all settled, we were going to have to get something done here. Because I want to put up a privacy fence now because I don't feel the safety of my children
Sure.
being in their own yard.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to the vacating of the alley. The auditor's office, they've met all the requirements that the county's asked them to do, the proper advertising, filled out all the forms.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions for Heidi? No? I'll entertain a motion to approve County Ordinance 2026-1 by title order vacating a public alley as presented to you tonight.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Peebles. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mrs. Hess. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll get that signed for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, moving right along. As you guys have seen in your emails, the judge has prepared with the security team here at the courthouse an updated security manual. We will need to approve that tonight. There was no major changes made to that, but that is not a public view document. That's an internal document for safety procedures for the courthouse. So entertain a motion to approve the updated security plan as presented to you in your emails and packets from the judge.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mrs. Hess. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Mr. Peebles. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, annual disclosures. So this is just what we do every beginning of the year. If any commissioners have any conflict of interest, as an example, I sign an annual disclosure every year. Our restaurant serves food sometimes to the county election polling locations, so I sign an annual disclosure every year for that. So that's just what this is. If you have any disclosures that you need to disclose, just make sure you do that with the county clerk's office. So more of just a statement. All right, next item on the agenda, the deer and turkey lease discussion. At our last meeting, I informed the commissioners that the current leasee had suggested some ideas about retaining that property for an extension of X amount of years. And in doing so, let me see here. If I can get it logged on here real quick. And in doing so, they would extend it, let's say, 3 years. They would not be eligible for the raffle again in 3 years. They would pay a 5% increase each year, so the county would, in turn, get some more money. In exchange, they would mow and maintain the property, improve it. So that was more or less what they were asking for. If not, we can do the annual once a year raffle as we originally intended it to be. However, it was our first year, so with this person getting it, I think no matter who would have got it, they would have probably made this recommendation that if you extend it, you'll get somebody that really takes care of the property, and the county gets that 5% increase. And once their 3 years are done, you would then raffle it off again, but they would be ineligible, so they would only be eligible for that time. So if someone else gets it the next time, they may only want it 1 year, then you raffle it, but we would write it into the agreement that they would have the ability to extend it up to 3 more years. So I'll leave that open to discussion for you guys, what you'd like to do.
My opinion is it needs to be an annual draw,
Okay.
just to be fair to all the county and citizens and those who are interested in leasing that property for hunting.
Yeah. Okay. Misty, your thoughts?
I feel the same way that Bill feels.
Okay. All right, so we will get that advertised then. I think the lease is up. I think the hunting was done in January, so we'll get that advertised. I think last time we didn't have a whole lot of applicants, but since we're a little bit earlier on the ball this year, we'll get that advertised and get that raffled off again.
It needs to be done before turkey season starts.
Absolutely. All right. Moving on, building permit fee update in your packets and email. Penny Carpenter sent you a detailed updated list. Our building fees have not been updated since like 1975. With that, she was recommending, I believe, Crawfordsville or Montgomery counties. And essentially, some of the fees are raised a little bit, but a lot of the changes, it'll be based off square footage now. So if you're building a 6,000 square foot house, you're going to pay a little bit more for your building permit. And if you're building a 1,000 square foot house, you'll pay a little less. So if you guys are in favor of proceeding with that, John will work on setting an ordinance, and that's got to be advertised to the public, and then we can get that addressed at our next meeting to effectively set those new building rates for the county.
The current rates of paying a building inspector,
Pretty tough.
it's tough to do on the rates we're collecting off of inspection fees. So
Yeah.
it needs to be increased. I'm not sure what that looks like, but I will support Penny in her research that she's done.
Yeah. Yeah, she put together a very, very detailed document, so.
I read the document. I guess my one question was, her recommendation was Crawfordsville. I just wanted to touch base with her on that because it's at I don't know if we're gonna, but it's $150 plus 10 cents per square foot. And Vigo County's is $125. So they're the exact same, but Vigo County's, I guess, different. I mean, I don't know. So I think that's fine. So.
Okay. Do you want to check with Penny before we ask John to write that with those specs from Crawfordsville, or do you have any? I believe Penny's entire zoning board is in favor of those rates as well, because
The Crawfordsville ones?
I believe so. Because
Okay.
I mean, we're looking at 25, 50 years of no increases.
Well, if the Board of Commissioners doesn't address it again in the next 70 years, I mean.
Yeah. No, it definitely needs to be increased. So definitely needs to be increased. So I'm good with that.
Okay, John, if you could proceed with that ordinance and making sure I think it's gonna be advertised so many days before the meeting too, so.
I'll get started on it.
Okay, thank you. All right, next in your packet, park signing letter request to NDOT. Becky Holberg done a lot of legwork. Special thanks to her for doing that. She had attached in your packet, you will see a request to NDOT to recognize all of our parks in the county, everywhere from a county park to some town parks located in Clinton, the Cayuga Park, and all types of signing is just something that would be good for travelers going down the road to be able to identify our really well taken care of parks. So they're asking us to just sign a letter requesting this and sending that over to NDOT. So is there any changes or anything you guys would like to do before we sign that?
What's the cost?
No cost, it's just a request to NDOT. So you just would request that, basically when you're going down the road and you see like the signs that say library ahead or county courthouse, none of our parks are identified on State Road 63, 163, 32. So we just ask them to identify all the parks instead of just one. Let's make it one ask. That way, if NDOT tells us yes, they don't have to tell us yes 17 times. We can just get one yes out of them. You're good with it, Bill? Okay, good. We'll get that signed after the meeting then. I don't think we need a vote for that. We're in agreement. All right. moving on to the added items of the agenda. In your packet, you will have the Oprah owner-occupied documents from Thrive. We applied for this grant last year. We did not succeed in getting that, but Thrive feels very confident in applying for that in the spring, first round this year. So I'll just need permission from the commissioners to proceed with the documents that need signed. And then we will also need to approve Resolution 2026-2, Declaration of Intent to Apply and Provide Matching Funds for CDBG Owner-Occupied Program, which we've already got letters from last year at those $55,000. Those were the funds that the Redevelopment Commission, City of Clinton had authorized, and they're all still in favor of doing that. So we'll just need permission from the commissioners to proceed.
The Rise Board was in on that too, weren't they?
I believe so. I think 5 or 10,000, something like that. Basically, the 55,000 gets you the $500,000. So,
I'll make a motion.
all right, I have a motion by Mr. Peebles to proceed and approve resolution number 2026-2 as presented. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mrs. Hess. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. All right. Next item on the agenda, Park County invoice. Last year with the ambulance service, we wasn't too sure how much to budget for that. So to finish that out, the total cost is $148,401.79. I'll need approval for this invoice, and we'll get an additional appropriation set for the council to approve this to close out 2025.
Make a motion.
I have a motion by Mrs. Hess. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Mr. Peoples. Any further discussion?
Yes. What can we do to get ahead of that?
So I spoke to Ashley tonight before I got to the meeting, and essentially, since it was the first year, it was kind of just a shoot in the dark number. So the council has set aside, in Ashley's view, enough money this year to cover the 2026 budget with Park County, pending any like crazy breakdowns or, you know, new purchases. But they knew when they done that they wasn't too sure where it would come in at. So they feel pretty confident, Julie does with their numbers, that they will stay in budget in 2026. All right. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, next item, Community Crossings Grant. In your packet, in your email, you will see, well, for the public who doesn't know, Vermilion County was awarded another Community Crossings Grant for 2026. So that's more roads being paved and taken care of in the county, so that's always great news. Our engineering firm, HWC, last week took bids, open bids, and we had the following bids from the following companies. Reith Riley Construction at $646,872. Milestone Contractors at $652,776.30, and DC Construction at $820,044 even. HWC has reviewed all bid documents, and they are recommending the commissioners tonight award the low responsible bidder to Reith Riley Construction. So I will need a motion for HWC's recommendation to award the 2026 funding application number 15305 to Reith Riley Construction.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mrs. Hess. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a second by Mr. Peoples. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I'd like to thank HWC, the Highway Board of Directors, and especially NDOT for administering the Community Crossings Grant Program. It's a big help to small communities. All right, almost done with the agenda. Next item on your list is the RJL Solutions contract. Several months ago, the commissioners had put together an agreement and presented it to the council for Shared Economic Development Director. At that time, they had paused on funding that project, and the RISE has since hired a director. The commissioners continue to want to see economic development in the county and to have somebody as a LEDO and an organization to oversee that. RJL Solutions has provided a contract to be the county's LEDO, and to oversee that for the county, which I believe is desperately needed for the county. In their contract with us, it is based on a monthly, let me see here, monthly fee of, do some quick math. I'm not very quick on these big numbers. At $7,200 a month to be your economic development lead, total investment for the year would be $86,400. You guys have reviewed that. They provide this for several counties throughout the state of Indiana. Rachel Leslie is well known, very well respected. I believe having them on board would signify a lot of strength for Vermilion County and help us streamline economic development, considering we don't have anything right now. So I'll bring that open for discussion for the commissioners. If there's a motion to approve that, and if there is, we'll send that to the council for an additional appropriation to approve.
It's something we desperately need.
Yeah.
I am not the person that can track that kind of thing. I don't think there's anybody sitting up here who can. I think we need to proceed.
I agree. I think, I think we waited a year, 6 months, we put together what we thought was a good plan, and, we didn't have support for it, but I think now it's, if we're not gonna share a director, then let's bring a firm in that knows what they're doing and let them tackle it for us. And I do believe they would excel at doing so.
I would agree with that, and they're right here, and they're.
Yeah, they're
in
local,
state,
right in
so.
Dale County, well, if there's an agreement, I'll entertain a motion to approve the contract and get it sent to the county
I'll
council.
make the motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Peebles.
I'll second it.
I have a second by Ms. Hess. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And if you could help me with an additional appropriation for the $7,200 a month, and then we'll get that filled out for the next meeting. Perrysville Fire Department, last one on the agenda. Brent, if you want to come on up.
Who's gonna have this guy come up?
I didn't have him on my agenda. Yeah. Give me 1 second, Brent. Einie, you've got someone here from the state. Is it Josh, right? Yeah. For whatever reason, it was left off my agenda. I apologize. Would you mind if I have them up right before you, Brent?
That's absolutely.
Go ahead, and I don't want to keep you anymore, so go ahead and come on up.
I'm not gonna take much of your time.
I told Brent he was last anyway, so.
Good evening, Commissioners. Josh Meany, Department of Veterans Affairs. What I've given you all is a copy of 10-17-19. I'm not gonna insult your intelligence and read this to you line by line. What it is just a standard of accreditation for all county veteran service officers. I know I've spoke with some of you already. I know I spoke with you a lot about all the trials and tribulations we've had out here. Office is in very good shape now. Einie is tip top. The office is doing great. But basically it just says all the accreditations that we have. I've got a PIV card, dual monitors, hours posted, private area for all that stuff. Great.
Good.
Any questions?
No, just don't take Einie from us. Like, don't take her to like the state.
I'm not, hey, listen, I've heard all you guys talk about the state. I'm a different part. I'm a different part. I'm here to fight for the veterans and fight for all the small people. So,
Yeah.
she's doing great, and I'm here to support her however you guys need me to.
And we love Einie to death. She does fantastic. So, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else we could ask of her. I don't know.
No, she's doing real good.
Yeah.
So, we're happy with her too. So,
Good.
Great.
like I said, I don't want to take more of your time. But if you need anything, let me know.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Einie?
Just real quick, I just have to do like my monthly spiel to everybody. Okay, so I'm here, Saturday was my 1 year anniversary, yay, go us. But the job is aging me in dog years, so everybody knows I did not have this gray streak this time last year. But anyhow, I am wanting to become more actively involved in the community, so I am seeking ways to increase the presence out in the community, especially this summer. So I am inviting like local groups, farmers market, businesses, if they're hosting special events, anything like that. To call, let me know, because I would love to be able to set up a table or a booth and just be able to pass out information, not only about veteran services, but also the American Legion as a whole. And then also something else I have been working on, and I have attended a workshop by Purdue Extension put on this last Saturday, because I'm wanting to establish something along the lines of a Vermilion County Veterans Council. So I'm looking for participation from dedicated companies, business representatives, American Legions, and any other committed parties that are interested in supporting our local veterans. And that's all I have.
Awesome. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you. Yeah, quick. All right, Brent, back up to you. I will say, first thing we'll talk about, Brent, is the $700. A couple years ago when we renovated the station up at Perrysville and moved the ambulance to Clinton, Perrysville Fire Department purchased some of the goods, the mattresses, stuff like that. And it's your intent to keep the stuff at Perrysville, correct?
That's fine by us.
Okay, because the county never did pay for those items, correct? Okay, and you submitted a bill tonight. I believe it's $700 for two
The 2 beds that are at the Clinton City Station.
at the Clinton City Station. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Commissioners, is there any objection to approving the $700 to Perrysville Fire Department to be reimbursed with the receipt presented tonight for the mattresses they purchased?
No objection.
All right, by agreement, we'll get that paid for you, Brent. And then I'll let you discuss the $1,500 that Clinton City has been receiving. Perrysville hasn't received anything. There was no agreement ever signed. I kind of give you a little, if you just want to take the floor. And
Yeah, no, that's fine. When we started into this venture, it was our understanding that the old administration was trying to put both ambulances in the southern. They were trying to purchase a building in Cayuga that was not fit for habitation without a lot of updating. There wasn't going to be anything set in place in a timely fashion, which was going to leave the northern half of the county uncovered. They had reached out to several different locations, departments wouldn't step up. We stepped up, renovated our building so they would have a place to house the ambulance. In doing so, we have lost $25,000 in lit money to do so, which is a big chunk for a small department that runs off of taxable income that comes into the station or fundraisers that we do throughout the year. We had agreed upon at a point that we were supposed to be getting paid the same amount as what Clinton City is, $1,500 a month for the entirety of the time that they're there. And RJ and I had been back and forth via email discussing what was going on, and that we agreed that it should have been backdated, moved forward. The contract, for whatever reason, was supposed to be amended and sent to us. It wasn't amended and sent to us. I don't know why. I have no good reason. I mean, it was supposed to have been sent to us and we never received it. We did finally receive a copy that was amended. It's been signed and submitted, but we haven't had anything back yet. So we're looking to receive, back pay for that to cover expenses for the building, for increase in utilities. Is beforehand, our building was not occupied, other than when we were there for a call. Now it is occupied 24/7, 365 days a year. You have an increase in electricity that is substantial. We put in 3 new HVAC systems, one for each room, one for the living quarters there. Now that we have people occupying the building, you're going through more hot water, you're going through electricity, you're going through more gas from the cooking, which is all part of it. But we're looking for that $1,500 to be all inclusive to cover everything, including additional updates we've done to the building since then. Repairs that have been involved with more use with the building than what was intended to start with.
And Brent, I might add as well, it was, and again, this is tough for Misty and Bill because they weren't here, the other two commissioners are not here. But it was the intent of the former administration that this would be a very short-term solution. And short-term has turned into
We're 19 months in now.
19 months in.
So this is a short-term fix for a long-term problem.
Yeah, so I think Perrysville has stepped up immensely. I can't speak on behalf of the former administration where this contract got dropped, where it didn't get signed. I know there's emails that show me and Brent last year discussed that, but that was prior. That was him following up from the previous year saying, where's it at?
And there was nothing ever addressed. We had sent it back and forth, and the other two commissioners had never addressed anything about it.
Yeah, so I do feel for Perrysville. Perrysville stepped up at a time when this county, if they hadn't of our ambulances, both would have been, based out of Clinton. So, where me and Bill live, it would have been a 20-minute response time. Where Brent lives would have been a 30-minute response time. And if you lived up by I-74, you might as well call Fountain County. or Warren County for that matter. So I think, I mean, I know, Brent, I don't know if you have an exact number of the 1,500 and the 19 months, I guess you can just times it by 19, but
28,500.
28,500, there you go. It would be my opinion that the board would recommend to approve this payment to Perrysville, and since we'll be going to the council asking for 86,000, we might as well go before them and ask for a little more.
So
Go ahead.
the 28,500, and then you said the 25,000 lit money loss. So is that in addition to that?
No.
No, you're just asking for the $1,500 per month for 19 months.
Yes.
Okay.
I think, Brent, correct me if I'm wrong, so each year the county councils, since I was on there in 2018, they have given $50,000 to fire departments every year. So with you guys stepping up, they agreed to subtract, forego half the money, so to go for that station, because the idea was when they left, you would have a renovated, station that you could use as well. But that was their cost of stepping up, was they had to forfeit some of that funding from the lit tax.
Which has faulted us in further, funding as far as air pack replacements. We were fortunate enough to apply for a grant, receive a grant for that, but now we're to the point where we have to replace other equipment, turnout gear, boots, gloves. I mean, the cost of doing business in a fire department is excessive, but necessary.
Commissioners, any other questions for Brent? Well, I would just, go ahead.
Sorry, just so you never received the contract, Brent, or you did receive the contract? Sorry.
The first one that we received was set for Clinton City.
Oh, okay.
And we asked that it be amended and returned, and it was never amended and returned.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's been.
So you received the original contract without
Yes.
Perrysville being on there?
That's correct.
Got you.
And to follow up on it, just to clear that too, so that was last year when Brent had sent those emails to me. But again, this process had started the year prior with former administration. So I had only started getting that stuff as I became president the next year, and Brent was like, hey, where's this at? It's been 6 months, I haven't seen anything. And that's when I reached out to Misty, John's executive assistant and paralegal, and she had, I think, started that process of sending stuff too. But again, at that point, it was 12 months too late, 15 months too late. But without departments like Brent stepping up, people in the northern end of this county, 36 North, would have had no ambulance coverage. Well, could have had some, but your response times would not have been what they were.
The response time where it's set now, I mean, between the north and the south, if you're in the center of the county, it's not ideal anymore.
No.
But if you were anywhere from 36 on north, the response time would have been increased drastically. And that's not good for anybody in the county.
So just really quick, so if we were to approve this tonight, this would catch us up, and then we would have to pay additional months to come?
Yeah, that would be
So we
through
need to
February.
Okay.
So that would be through the end of this month.
This would be through the end of February.
Now, do you anticipate, I was told John and Julie were anticipating the renovation to be complete by, I think, 2 weeks from now, I think mid-February?
News to me. Hasn't been.
Nobody's communicated. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's say hypothetically we're out at the end of February. We would be a clean slate then.
Yeah, I mean, we can go that route, but per the contract, the way that it was written up, it's supposed to be 60 days notice
Okay.
at the minimum. But we can work with that.
What if I get your full 20? If we get your full 28,000, can we?
Yeah, if you do that, I mean, I have no issue with that. If you catch us up to where we're current, I don't think our administrative board would have any issues.
Any issues with it through the end of February?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if it goes on from there, we can just
Add another.
as it goes.
Okay.
Go as a month to month.
Okay.
Make it work.
Sure.
But we would need $29,200.
If it went the extra.
No, if we want the $700 already paid.
Oh yeah. Well, the 700 needs cut now though. I think we can pay that out of the improvement fund, I believe. Anyway, if there's no other questions for Brent, I'll entertain a motion because we already approved the $700, so this would just be for the 28. What'd you say?
25.
28.5.
And that's through the end of February.
How'd you guys get stuck with paying for beds at Clinton?
Because we purchased them through an appliance and furniture place that offered us a very good deal on them. So if we bought them all in one group, it was cheaper to go that route than it was to pay $500 or $600 a piece for them.
Right.
Trying to save the county some money.
Yeah. I guess my only other question is, and not that I don't believe you, but like the auditor's office, have they made sure like there wasn't a payment being put somewhere else versus, I'm just,
They
okay.
haven't paid anything
Okay,
at all.
okay.
I made several attempts, and Misty did too, talking.
Okay.
With him trying to figure out a contract, trying to get money going his way. I feel like Curtisville did step up.
Yeah.
I mean, they took $25,000 of their own money,
Mhm.
renovated the building. It's been going on now for 19 months.
Yeah.
So
No,
we
I'm
have-
not-
but
I'm
we
just-
haven't paid a dime,
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, yeah.
literally.
I'll make a
We
motion
we owe them a lot.
Okay. Make a motion with
that
the
we would
amount.
move forward with the
Okay,
$28,500.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Peoples. Any further discussion?
I want to see this resolved, and I want to see it resolved the way that you have it. But I wasn't there for those initial discussions, and I don't know how it's going to work out. So we're going to try.
All right, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Brent, thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right, commissioners, anything else on the agenda you guys would like to discuss before we motion to adjourn?
I do. Senate Bill 7. The day I went over and testified for Senate Bill 7, it passed the committee. It went to the full Senate the next day for the full Senate to vote on. They amended that bill to state that this does not have anything to do with Wabash Valley Resources. That was the only way the full Senate would vote on it. I hope everybody understands that. The three of us, due to a bill that the governor signed last year, have absolutely no say. That's what Senate Bill 7 amended, was to give us back control of what goes on in our counties. So I hope everybody understands that. When the EPA, the Department of Energy, DNR, all those people get together, they just stomp on us little guys. So it is what it is, I guess, at this point. It does not impact Wabash Valley Resources. It's their pilot project, and man, they're gonna see that thing go in.
We are too.
We are too.
Fight every day and fight from 10 different directions. That's why we got a lawyer coming from 10 different directions. He's going to the state. We ain't letting us go. Now, EPA, total agreement, yeah.
Misty, anything? No. John, anything for you? You good? Nope. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Motion?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for attending.
I didn't want to say anything and embarrass Brent, but I was going through my email log. Misty sent you the contract.